Welcome back to my channel. Don't throw away the stems of this product you bought from the market after using it in your meals. I'll explain with this technique you can keep getting produce forever. How can we ensure that purslane in a pot produces for years? Let's watch together. While those who have a garden complain about this purslane growing shamelessly and taking over the garden, those who live in the city have to pay to buy this herb. I will also grow this purslane that I bought from the grocery store in a pot, so I can have fresh purslane and won't have to spend money again. So, which type of purslane can we use to achieve this? When choosing purslane, make sure they don't have thin stems like these. Their stems are a bit thick, but the root parts are pruned. These won't work for us either. We can't get produce from purslane that doesn't have roots. Think of these as single-use. The stems should be thick like these, and the roots must not be trimmed. They should even have some soil on them. Choose the bunch with the thickest stems. After bringing the bunch of purslane you bought home, start plucking the leaves without waiting too long. I am especially choosing the ones with the thickest stems. You can leave these small leaves on the stems. If you leave them, they will grow even more over time. Put the roots in of the remaining stem part in water. Let some water flow to the stem through the roots so that it stays alive when we plant it in the soil. We trimmed all the thick-stemmed purslane and soaked their roots in water for about an hour. Now we can start the process of transferring them to the pot where they will continue to grow. You can plant it in a mix of half peat and half garden soil that isn't too compact. I recommend that you wet the soil beforehand so that when we transfer the stems to the soil, the roots can easily enter the soil without being damaged. If we plant in dry soil, the roots can break. If the roots get damaged, some of the purslanes won't be able to continue their growth. Be careful not to break the stems while planting the purslane stems into the soil. If you're having trouble, wet the soil a bit more. The stems should be about 3-4 fingers deep in the soil. After the planting process is done, give them plenty of water, their life-giving water. The soil should be muddy so that the roots can make good contact with the wet soil. After the watering process is done, place your pot in a spot that gets plenty of sunlight. If you check after a day or two and the stems are still green, that means there's no problem. For the next watering, do it as the top of the soil dries out a bit. A week later, you can see that the stems have turned red and started to produce new shoots. We also use the second leaves in our dishes. And the stems left in the pot have produced leaves once more for the third time. Now we can take the seeds from these purslanes and continue our endless purslane production. The blooming of the flowers is a sign that it's time to collect the seeds. After the flowers that signal it's time to collect seeds have bloomed, you can gather the seeds from the little pods next to the flowers. If you don't collect the seeds on time, when it rains, the dried pods can easily open up with the raindrops and the seeds can spill onto the ground. No problem, because the spilled seeds will germinate again in a very short time. If you don't want the seeds to spill onto the ground and want to store them, what should you do? Let's watch some pods open up on their own and spill the seeds. Let's take the unopened one and extract the seed. Small black purslane seeds. We have the seeds that we can replant. You can easily continue to produce purslane in your own pot for years by purchasing it just once from the market and inexpensively. You can also collect seeds from the pods on the stems that haven't wilted. Now, Cut all the stems and let the seeds fall into a container. Even if you cut the purslane, it will continue to produce new shoots. Make sure that the container you use is dry. Otherwise, the seeds will spoil. Put the seeds you extracted into a container and let them dry in the shade for a day. Stir occasionally. Now, your seeds are ready. You can put these seeds into small bags and store them for years. You can plant the seeds you have stored in another pot. You can also grow purslane here, and you can even give purslane seeds to your neighbors. For this, sprinkle the seeds onto the soil, mix the soil lightly, and water it. Purslane is a hardy plant. It will catch on immediately, and the same cycle again. It will continue. We've reached the end of another video. Share this video so that everyone can see it, and leave a comment below. At least some simple feedback like a thank you or a suggestion. Write it down. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, you can subscribe for free to support me. Please don't forget to activate the bell to be notified about my next videos. See you in my next videos.